Welcome back. Let's talk about documenting in this lecture. Now, when it comes to documenting, there are no strict rules to follow. This can be done in a way that works best for you. However, in many investigations, you might not be the only one that is going to follow the investigation and read through documents, and oftentimes you will have to report back to someone about the results that you have found. So what we're going to mention in this lecture are some of the best practices that you want to pay attention to. Alright, first of all, source credibility. Verify reliability of the sources that you're using. Cross-check information with multiple reputable sources to confirm its accuracy. Be cautious of websites that are known for spreading misinformation or unverified claims. Now, also date and timestamps. You want to record the date and time when information was published or updated. This helps establish the relevance of the data and can be crucial if the context of the information changes over time. Metadata. Capture and preserve metadata from digital content when possible. This includes information embedded in images, documents, or files that can provide context about the origin and integrity of the content. Also, privacy and legal issues are important. You want to be mindful of privacy laws and regulations. You also want to avoid collecting or sharing personal information that could violate legal standards or ethical guidelines. And last two things are changelogs. So changelogs means keeping track of any updates or changes to the information or sources that you're documenting, and this is particularly important for dynamic online content that may be altered or removed over time. And visual evidence is important to document. This ensures that images or videos are preserved in their original form. Now, you can use tools to verify their authenticity, such as reverse image searches or metadata analysis. And another important thing is who we are reporting to or who we are sending the document to. For example, whether it is a technical or a non-technical person. Now, you might be asking, why is this important? Well, some tools perhaps require some technical knowledge, or some results that we document might not be obvious to someone who is a non-technical person. That is why we should change our approach depending on who our reader is. If it is a technical team, we should keep it technical and write as much details as possible about our investigation process. We should actually do this every time, no matter what we are doing it for, whether it being for a company or for investigation or for a regular person. Always have a detailed technical document that describes all parts of your OSINT journey. And if necessary, we can then after create a more simple version of the document that will make things easily understandable for a regular person. Alright, and few more important things are to have a consistent file structure. You want to use a logical folder structure to categorize information. So for example, we have on the screen project name, and under the project name we have different files that all cover one thing. Now, file naming is also important. Use descriptive and consistent naming conventions. Include dates and brief descriptions, like the example below. Now, this also means that you want to organize the content logically. You want to start with an introduction that outlines the objectives, scope, and methodology of the investigation. And then you can organize the main body into sections based on categories or themes, such as, for example, background information, key findings, source analysis, evidence, and examples. And at the end, provide an executive summary of the report, especially if the document is lengthy. This should highlight the most critical findings and conclusions. And lastly, you want to ensure accessibility. You want to use universally accessible formats like PDF for documents. Also make sure that files are not excessively large or that they do not require special software. That will be about it when it comes to documenting. These are just some tips from me and Conrad that you might want to consider when documenting your research or investigation. Now, of course, once again, it is up to your personal preference, but for it to be the best possible document that other people could read, you might want to take these tips into consideration. Alright, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture.